Hello, everybody. I'm Cody Bateman, founder and CEO of Send Out Cards. I'd like to welcome everybody to this brief little show here today. You may notice the person sitting next to me. This is none other than Kathy Ireland. It's a great, great honor to be sitting with her today. We are actually in Thousand Oaks, California at the, what's the name of this place?
Lake Sherwood Country Club.
Lake Sherwood Country Club. It's a beautiful country club here in Thousand Oaks. We're here today as a guest of Kathy Ireland. She invited us to be here today, and we're just very, very excited about the meetings that we have had with her. Kathy, first of all, you're a user of Send Out Cards, right?
I am. It's a great solution. I mean, I'm a busy mom. There's just not a lot of time to find those stamps and those envelopes and just all of it. And I love it. It's been a huge solution in my life. Your talk about promptings touches my heart, and I thank you for that reminder. There are so many people who I love, who I think about, but I don't always tell them. And Send Out Cards has been a huge solution. I do all my Christmas cards. We do our business mailings through it. It's wonderful. It's a personal message that I get to write myself in my own handwriting, design the card. You can be very creative. And it's quick, it's easy, and I love all the reminders too, so you don't forget those birthdays and anniversaries.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, we met at dinner tonight. By the way, great dinner. Thank you very much. It was great. And we had a great conversation. And one of the things that really sparked my interest with what you said is that you had this inner voice that was telling you basically your whole life, back when you were modeling and everything, that your place was really on the other side of the camera. And we talked about this inner prompting that we all get. In Send Out Cards, we talk about the word prompting a lot. The inner prompting is who you are as a person. The outer prompting is what you do with who you are by reaching out in kindness to others. Send Out Cards gives you a mechanism to do that. But you really touched my heart when you talked about that inner voice that said you belonged on the other side of the camera. Tell me about that voice. What is that voice, and how do people hear it?
Well, I think you touched on it earlier too. I think it's something that we all have, but our life circumstances oftentimes will stifle that. A lot of negativity, or people impose limits on us. Sometimes we impose limits on ourselves. One of my great blessings from the long ago modeling career was all the rejection. Because when I began in the world of business and people said no and slammed doors, it didn't stop me.
It's 10 o'clock.
It gives you a lot of perseverance, and I think that's important. So often people will let that negativity or someone else's opinion of them stop them from reaching their potential. And as far as knowing I belonged on the other side of the camera, that was just modeling. I'm grateful. It was a wonderful experience, but it wasn't what I aspired to do. I tried and failed so many businesses before starting our company in 1993 with a pair of socks. And going for that dream and not letting anyone else, whatever their opinion might be, not letting that stop it. I encourage other people to do that. And what I love about your company, about Send Out Cards, you really help to release the entrepreneur within. And I think there's one in every one of us. And it's just tapping into it. And, you know, all that you give is all that you get. Give it all you've got. It's an opportunity to really have a wonderful business from your home. And you can work around the family schedule. And for me as a busy mom, that's a huge blessing.
You know, it's interesting, you know, those of you who are watching, this is Kathy Ireland. I mean, for her to have that inner prompting that says, you know, my life, I belong on the other side of the camera. When that happened, you were very successful on this side of the camera. I mean, you were a very, very successful model, very, very well known. You even had a movie career for a while.
If you can call it that.
But obviously very, very well known. So for you, with that high level of success and exposure that you had in the marketplace, having this voice say, I belong on the other side of the camera, and she acted on it. I mean, you could have done you could have done anything, but you acted on the fact that, hey, I'm going to go start a business. So Kathy Ireland goes on the other side of the camera, and she starts a business in 1993, today is a $1.4 billion enterprise. That's amazing. Do you know how many billion-dollar companies there are? There's not very many. And Kathy was able to go and create that type of business. And you told the story about you owned your first business when, how old were you?
4 years old.
Tell us about that.
I sold painted rocks from my wagon with my sister Mary. The rocks were multifunctional. They could be used as a paperweight or objet d'art. I've always loved the combination of both design and business. My granny carried one in her purse at all times, this big rock. I painted a flower on it, and if anybody messed with Granny, she was going to nail him on the head with it. So this was her self-defense. But I did well. We'd go door to door. My sister was 3 years older. Her designs were a bit more sophisticated. She sold them for a dime. I sold mine for a nickel. And I learned at a young age, my customers appreciate a good value.
Wow, that's great. So you've always had the entrepreneurial spirit.
I have, as a young child, and I think what really attracted me to Send Out Cards, the modeling, great opportunity. I was okay, certainly not that super, but I saw limits in that career. It was limited by how someone else perceived that I looked, whereas starting a business that has nothing to do with anything as superficial as appearance, but a business that the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And that's rewarding. And to see what you've done with Send Out Cards is truly exciting, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate it. Now, just to wrap things up here, we have something very exciting to announce to everybody. All of our speakers this year at our national convention at Send Out Cards will be distributors. Our keynote address will be given by none other than Kathy Ireland, who, yes, is a distributor of Send Out Cards. And she is going to be our keynote speaker. She will speak in the Friday afternoon session on October 1st. And we're really excited to have you there, Kathy. It's going to be a great time. So in closing, just tell everybody out in Send Out Cards land why it's so important to get to convention.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you. It is a tremendous privilege to be a part of this convention. So I thank you for that. And I look forward to meeting everybody. Please come out. I want to meet you. I want us to get to know each other. It's going to be so much fun, and I truly look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. So, peace. We're out. We'll talk to you and see you all at convention.